So the toilet of a country they call Australia is having a big brain moment, realizing that parents may actually have the audacity to think that their children belong to them and not the state. And so they may actually allow children under the age of 16 to, I don't know, watch YouTube videos. And so the Australian government is going to have none of that. And I want you to listen to their solution.
At YouTube videos in a logged out state.
Yeah, or even on their parents' account.
I think if they were, Senator, I think if they were doing that on a parent's account, we would expect that Google would assess that.
So they'd block my account? So if I was allowing my child, as a parent, to use my account to look at content, they'd block my account?
They may assess.
So you're going to restrict the right?
They will block your account, you filthy little peasant. Like, who do you think you are to question the law of the government? We know what's better for your child, you imbecile. You know nothing. Absolutely nothing. You obey us, the politicians. Through our will, Google enacts. Jesus Christ. I wonder if they actually realize the can of worms that they're opening. I don't know about you guys, right? But unlike Australians, I actually did have a childhood. And I gotta say, like, I was a cheeky little shit. Unfortunately, I was too smart for my age. Like, I was the kid that had internet and would download pornography and write it on a CD. Because when I was young, DVD didn't exist. And I would go into the playground and I would sell them. I was sitting on mountains of cash. You know, all those moral children, like they were living in abject poverty, but I was immoral and I taught them that if you want to get ahead in life, you gotta crack a couple of eggs, you gotta break a little bit of rules. Another thing that I would do is, like, I would go in my classroom at school and I would do my homework. And then I would see the ones that didn't do their homework and I would say, hey, I'm going to do your homework for $5. And if I had like 10 kids, that's $50 a day. Like, I want you to understand, you know, like, while they had child labor laws, like preventing other people from making money, I was raking in the cash. And then some other asshole, and I really hate the fact that YouTube doesn't allow me to use homophobic slurs in order to describe this individual a little bit better, but he starts doing my grift. And the problem is, like, he was actually having a much more better writing than I did. And so all of a sudden I'm losing customers and I go to the school bully. He was like a fat corporeal manifestation of a man that could hospitalize people with one punch. And I was like, look, I'm going to give you 20% if you crack down on that guy. And I have to say, he really did put 20% of work. He went to that kid, which was sitting at the back of the class, and he smacked him on the back of the head. Like, my God, like, he smacked him so hard, his glasses flew from the back of the class all the way to the teacher's table. That's how hard he smacked him. He's like, the fuck are you doing? Don't you know I work really hard on my homework, so you're trying to tell me that while I'm doing my homework late at night, all these other retards are watching Cartoon Network and they're having fun because they know you're going to do their homework at class? How is that fair for me? And I swear, you know, like, the guy tried to talk back. It's like, oh, well, yeah, but like V is doing that. We're not talking about V right now. I want you guys to understand, this was me at the age of 14. I became smarter later on, but like at the age of 14, I was capable of such grift. You're trying to tell me that Australia, by saying, okay, if you're under 16, you can't use social media. And if you're a parent and you allow your kid to use social media, you're going to be banned. If I was in that universe, I would steal my mother's ID. I would go into her purse and steal her ID in order to use YouTube and be able to talk with my friends. And you know what would happen? My mother would get banned. Now, sure, I would get punished, fair enough, but my mother would still get banned. And so, I understand that the apple doesn't fall really far from the tree. I am fucking terrified. I am terrified because I have a son. And if he is half like me, he's going to get me into trouble with these fucking legislations. Like, he is young right now, but heaven forbid when he is 14. If the world becomes like Australia, if I can lose my social media account, like, I need to buy a safe. I need to buy a safe with, like, retinal scanners and all that shit, and, like, put every single valuable and every single password and every single ID that I have in that fucking safe, because I'm not safe now. All jokes aside, though, what I am saying here is not really far from the truth. If you're going to start banning, and I do think, like, they will, right? Because, like, social media can't possibly know if the parent is allowing the child to be there, or if it's, like, an actual kid that is online using a different account. But imagine if your Gmail account gets banned. Imagine if your social media account gets banned, right? Like, your kid, and in many cases, like, it happens, right? Like, if there are kids that steal the parents' firearms, why wouldn't there be kids that use their parents' account? And you don't even need to have the kid to actually steal mommy or daddy's ID. Most of the time, people don't log off, right? Like, you can forget your social media account open, and you can have little Timmy come into the room when you're asleep or when you're at work, and all of a sudden you use your social media account, compliments to the Australian government. Are these people fucking insane? Yeah, and this is beyond the point, as if, like, okay, so you're basically saying that parents aren't allowed to let their kids use the internet? Like the government knows better than the parent now? Why should parent? Just leave your kids on the street and the government will take care of them. It's fucking insane, you know? Like, this communist level shit was entertained by an entire generation that kept saying, our children. It's not our children, it's my kid. You should fuck off, you know? Go make your own kid. Like, if you don't know, I'll teach you. Not that complicated, right? But, like, if you don't know how to make your kid, parent your kid, and leave other kids alone. Like, stop it with this communist shit. It's my kid, it's his kid, it's her kid, it's not our kids. Jesus. I don't think, like, this is going to last long. I think, like, this is going to cause societal-wide problems with people's personal information getting hacked. Like, you're going to see these companies, and it already happened. I mean, for fuck's sakes, you can look at China. You know, a lot of the stuff that happens in China is probably not known by many people in the West, but they have data leaks. Like, once every 3 years or so, people's data gets spilled onto the dark web. You can have the possibility of your kid that is now incentivized to get online and be with his friends, is going to try and get mommy and daddy's ID. Like, this is insane. They're going to have these societal problems. They're going to experience them. And eventually, yeah, like, I think people are going to get really butthurt about whomever passed these bills. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.